Right.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا قيما لينذر بأسا شديدا من لدنه ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا ماكثين فيه أبدا وينذر الذين قالوا اتخذ الله ولدا ما لهم به من علم ولا لآبائهم كبرت كلمة تخرج من أفواههم إن يقولون إلا كذبا فلعلك باخع نفسك على آثارهم إن لم يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث أسفا إنا جعلنا ما على الأرض زينة لها لنبلوهم أيهم أحسن عملا وإنا لجاعلون ما عليها صعيدا جرزا أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا فضربنا على آذانهم في الكهف سنين عددا ثم بعثناهم لنعلم أي الحزبين أحصى لما لبثوا أمدا أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا قل هل ننبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا ذلك جزاؤهم جهنم بما كفروا واتخذوا آياتي ورسلي هزوا إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah khairan. And now we're going to introduce our guest. Our guest is Maulana Hassan Rawat. He's from Johannesburg, from the Benoni area. And Maulana specializes in speaking on the topic of LGBTQ, which is one of the biggest fitnas and tests that we are going through at this time. It has reached, we can even say to a great extent, pandemic proportions, because the way it is being popularized in many countries, in many communities, and around the world. So, inshallah, Maulana will speak to us about the evils of this and how we can protect ourselves, and he will give us an informed informed opinion and some insight into it from an Islamic perspective. We call upon Maulana, inshallah.
And they won't be able to see. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي هدانا لخير الأديان وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله وصلى الله تبارك وتعالى على خاتم الأنبياء وعلى آله وأصحابه الأتقياء أما بعد. Firstly, before I commence, I want to commend the Hafiz. I think his name is Hafiz Muhammad Yusuf, Muhammad Hussein, who recited, mashallah, Allah Ta'ala, the sweetness of your recitation. May Allah Ta'ala increase it. May Allah Ta'ala use you to serve the Quran, mashallah. It was really heart-rendering. It was so sweet to listen to you recite Quran. May Allah make every student of the school recite Quran in such a beautiful way, inshallah. So we go straight into the topic because of our time limit. And as you can see on the front, I come from an organization. Alhamdulillah, I've been part of the Muslim school body and family for a long time. I'm sure I can say with confidence that I was in the schooling system before many, if not all of you were born, only about 20 years, alhamdulillah. So I have a passion working with the youth. I understand your plight, and that's why we're here today. So a very important question is, why are we here? And many would say that, Maulana, obviously we're going to discuss LGBTQ. So when I say why are we here, I think there's two answers to this. One is on the tongue and one is in the heart. The answer on the tongue is you're going to tell us about LGBTQ. And the answer in your heart is, Maulana, Jazakallah for coming, you pull us out of class. Please come again, but next time come when we got maths or physics or something. Don't come early in the morning like this. We want to miss like some important periods, Like, please don't come on your convenience. Come, we'll show you our timetable, and then you come like that. So while I know you, that's what you're thinking in your heart. But we're also here for a bigger reason, and that is we're here to understand each other and to appreciate the beauty of Islam. You see, boys, many a times as a young man, you probably feel that you're not, but the Maulanas don't understand us, man. Our teachers don't understand what we're going through. My father don't understand, really. I'm going through a hard time. So we feel like that. But let me tell you, we understand your plight. We understand the challenges you're going to. And because we're faced with so much, what happens is we don't appreciate the beauty of Islam. And we don't realize that deen is actually in our favor. We're living in a time where, sometimes you guys probably saw the billboard saying easy finance. Or your daddy will get an SMS to say easy finance. But we're going through a phase now where guna is easy access. Sin and vice is easy access. If your father, I just share with you an example and your teachers will relate to this. I'm not saying your father done it, but I'm saying if your father wanted to do it, don't go home and say, yeah, daddy, hey, you know what? Maulana told me what you used to do. But if he wanted to do something like that, if he wanted to watch like a 2 to 16 or 2 to 18 movie, then he would have had to go that time. Now we have flat screens. That time we had an old box TV, they used to call it. So he had to go, and under the TV they used to have like a VCR, a video player. So he had to go to a video shop and hire a movie. And the movie shop used to have like different sections like a library, cartoons, thriller, drama, action, adult. So he's now a 15-year-old boy checking in the adult section from far, like, hey, I want that movie. And then he's somehow like checking. Uncle's like, what you doing? He said, no, I want that. But you can't. How can you take that movie? Can't you see it's in the adult section? He said, no, you see, my father said I must come get a movie for him. He said it's in that section. So somehow he had to like make a story up, to like smuggle that movie kind of out of that video shop. Now he came home, he thought he's going to watch. And hey, the small brother is there. And the small brother is like, hey, mommy, don't allow us to watch it. They kissing. Mommy said when they kiss, you must close your eyes. So it was like so challenging, cumbersome, and frustrating to watch. But what they watched after so much of effort is only a percentage of what you guys can watch on your screen. And you guys, I don't know, I get scared to say mashallah. I don't know if it's something you can say mashallah for. You guys are so fast with your phone, like you're watching something on your phone. And you're sitting in the lounge with your parents. And your parents saying, my child is a sweet angel, man. He doesn't go out with his friends. He got no girlfriend or she got no boyfriend. She's such a sweet child. She's always in the house. She don't go out and you're busy with your phone and you're busy. And your mom say like, what you doing? And you like look at him in the face and your fingers are like moving and you clear the screen and you change the app and you clear the browsing history. You say, mommy, you must trust me, man. Why you don't trust me? You know what I'm talking about? You mustn't laugh too much. The teachers will know what you're up to. But anyway, so this phone, really, boys, has created an easy access to sin. We'll talk about it. So we're talking about LGBTQIA+. L stands for lesbian, where a woman is inclined to another woman. G is for gay, where a man is inclined and wants to go out with another man or sometimes even marry a man. B is for bisexual, where a man wants to be with another man or woman wants to be with another man and woman. And now the people who are gay and lesbian got a problem with the bisexual people. They say, which side of the fence you sitting on? They say, no, we're sitting on both sides of the fence. So it creates a big problem between them. So T is for transgender. A male feels, no, I'm not happy with my body. I feel, no, I want to become a female. Or female feels, what, I'm not happy being a female. I think I want to become a male. So now they want to change. You see your body, if you're a male, Allah made your body with male organs. Now just picture this, right? Young man, what car your father got? A Toyota. See, so his father got a Toyota, no problem. His father got a Toyota, something happened, the engine seized. The whole engine got damaged. The mechanic told him, look, we can't fix this engine, you need to replace it. Now he's checking the price of a new engine. He said, hey, this thing is way too expensive for me. So eventually he says, okay, you know what? Let's go find a second-hand engine. Maybe the scrapyard, they got a second-hand engine. So he comes to the scrapyard. The owner says, you know what? Look, man, I'm sorry, man. We don't have a Toyota engine. But we got a truck engine. Really, it's at a hell of a good price. I'm telling you, take it. Now, how are you going to fit the truck engine into a car? You'll have to knock that bonnet and you'll have to knock that car and the connections won't work. And can you imagine trying to fit the truck engine into a car? Now, imagine if that sounds so hilarious and funny. Can you imagine trying to fit male organs into a female? Can you imagine trying to fit, and now you're going through treatment to like outgrow female organs from a female to transform it into a male? You're bound to have complications. You are bound to have complication. Q is for queer. Queer could have one of two meanings. It could either refer to a person who's still confused, they're not sure they want to be male or they want to be female. Or queer could refer to anybody who's not straight. Anybody who belongs to the LGBTQI, they say they belong to the queer community, QC. Or it could refer to people who belong to the umbrella word used for all these people collectively. I is for intersex and A is for asexual. The plus sign there is very important because the plus sign tells us that they haven't stopped here. They haven't stopped by the A really. There's pansexual, there's bestiality, there's incest, and they've created new words. They've added new vocab to their whole list. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Our beloved Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us and he warned us And Allah reward our Nabi abundantly, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Says sallallahu alayhi wasallam, our Nabi, our beloved Nabi, who really cared and loved us, warned us 1400 years ago and told us every era will be worse than the previous one. What you're seeing now, 2024, 2025 will be worst. If your mommy, if your ma and your father is scared about what you're facing, I'm scared about when you're a parent, what your children will face. It will only be worse. And I'm sure you've heard, I'll just repeat it quickly, the Islamic flavor to these letters, LGBTQIA+, we say our solution to this is, let's get back to Quran, inshallah. LGBTQIA, let's get back to Quran, inshallah. Plus Sunnah. You bring Quran and Sunnah in your life, Allah Ta'ala will protect you. Why would somebody want to adopt something like this? Because it's not just promoted, it's viciously promoted. It's just not, they're not telling you, accept me to be gay, accept me to be a lesbian. They're saying, we want to market this, we want to promote it, we want to change you. There was a time when they said, accept us for who we are. Now they are not saying, accept us for who we are. They're saying, no, we want to convert you. So that's what they're trying to do. They're viciously promoting their agenda. They're marketing their agenda. They're doing it in different ways. They're doing it through syllabus in schools. I don't know if you want to off the lights. Maybe you get a clearer view. So they are doing it through syllabus in schools. And really, I'm telling you, go home today, meet your father and mother, and tell them, Jazakumullahu khaira. I came to tell you I'm grateful that you admitted me into Orient Islamic School. I'm happy that you put me into an Islamic environment. Because let me tell you, boys and girls, there are other schools, I'm sure you people probably heard of it trending on social media, where they were talking about a so-called Muslim woman addressing a school about how she's comfortable being bisexual. It was a certain school, and we say, Alhamdulillah, that it failed. They were going to invite a gay man to address the assembly. Allah reward the ustads, the principal, for giving us this opportunity that we can discuss this important topic from an Islamic perspective. That you go home today with the right mindset. So through syllabus, through schools, we must accept this as a new part of society. Not in a racist way, but you have black and white and Indian, and we all accept and we integrate. They're saying, no, like that, you must also accept this now new community. They fall part of us, and now it's not just about race, but it's about orientation also that needs to be accepted. They are promoting this through media and movies. Cartoons are supposed, I'm not saying it's jais, we know the masala, but cartoons were supposed to have been something innocent for children to watch. But today, certain important cartoon characters are also bisexual. Certain cartoons subtly are promoting messages of this girl likes that girl. Another avenue through which they're promoting it, and I use the word, our Muslims and society at large are addicted to it. I'm using the word addicted. Very safely and confidently I'm saying, we are addicted to Netflix. Your Bali got his own channel, your Ma got her own channel, you got your own channel. And they leave you at the end of the episode with so much suspense, you can't wait to watch the next one. You're like, ish, you're watching, and then they say, to be continued. Now you can't wait, hey, what happened? What's going to happen? So you have to watch. And we are getting addicted to Netflix. We're watching series after series, episode after episode. And how many of these episodes are actually giving us that message of homosexual activity, lesbian activities? It's there. So one of two things are going to happen, boys and girls. You need to run through my whole program with me. I have your full attention, inshallah. And that is, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to make us inclined to that behavior, or they're going to make us drop our guard and we will be desensitized. That is, eventually we watch so much of it, we'll say, what's wrong with it? He said, if you go to Orient, you must go in style. So I want to ask you boys a question. GTI, you full petrol or diesel? Stop, Mr. Principal. Next session, I'm doing a car show. GTI, you full petrol or diesel? I'm hearing diesel. GTD, you full diesel. GTI, you full petrol. Come on, guys. I thought you know your cars here. Anyway, so this brother is in matric, mashallah. Our Hafiz Muhammad Hussein, his father tells him, you do well, I buy you a GTI. Now he got his GTI, he's like, oh, I need to show my friends, picked up his friends. Now he wants to spin around, but he knows his allowance, his money is like tight also. He don't have a lot money. So he comes to the filling station and he tells the petrol attendant, boss, give me 500 in diesel. So the petrol attendant says, sorry, man, you need to fill petrol in this car. He says, my car. Don't tell me what to do with my car. I know I heard my Bali and my father talking that diesel consumption is better. I want diesel. He said, you can't fill diesel here. He said, no, I got a lot. I'm going to spin around. I need my fuel to last. Spin around. You won't even get to the robot. So when you bought your GTI, VW told you what fuel to fill. VW told you what oil to use. VW told you what injectors to use. VW told you what brake pads. Everything you listen to them. Why? Because VW manufactured the car. When your ma buys an appliance, then when you use it, before you can even use it, you must say, wait, let's read the manual first. Let's see, because they will tell us how to use it. So with your appliance, you listen to the manufacturer. With your car, you listen to the manufacturer. With this body, why we don't want to listen to the manufacturer? And why now you're thinking, where is Maulana's taking this program to? Listen, why I'm mentioning this? Because there's one fundamental difference between us and the LGBTQI community and lobby. And the fundamental primary difference between us and them is who makes decisions in your life. Who makes decisions? And you ask them who decides right and wrong for you, they'll say, no, I must decide, it's my life. We say, no, Allah created you and manufactured you. Allah must decide for you. And that's a very, very important difference between us and them. And you must remember this for life. Who will decide right and wrong for you? Only Allah can make that decision in Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If this brother, inshallah, you don't get stuck, but I'm asking you, if you get stuck with this guy, you think go to a Toyota technician. Maybe a Mazda mechanic. Naturally, he's going to go to a VW specialist. VW made the car. So your body, who will make decisions for you? The manufacturer, who is? Allah. Who is Allah that made this body? Allah is Al-Musawwir. Allah didn't only make us, Allah designed us. I'm not sure in your school if you do Asma al-Husna, but Al-Musawwir means one who fashioned us, one who designed us. How Allah made us? If you just take your right hand, shahadat finger, your index finger, press your nose's bone for me. Press it hard till you feel a bit of pain. Now with that same pressure, press your eye. You can't do it. Your nose is not as sensitive as your eye. Allah made your nose protrude and stick out. Allah caved your eye into your face. So if you walk into the wall, you'll hit your nose, not your eye. Allah who fashioned our face in such a beautiful way. You think Allah would have made a mistake about our gender? I'll give you another example this way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created us, created everything. You see that shape of the mountains has been designed by Allah. It's not there coincidentally. If you look at the shape and the design of that clouds, it's designed by Allah. Allah fashioned everything. Why would Allah have made a mistake about your gender? Or my gender? Who is Allah? Allah is Al-Alim. Allah who knows us exceptionally well. If your maths teacher keeps telling you your maths is weak, say, sir, ma'am, can I test you? Let me test your maths. How much hair you have on the back here of your palm? And even your best maths student or the most brilliant maths teacher will never be able to answer this question. Just here on this one part Or on your eyebrows or eyelashes, how much hair you have? Nobody can answer the question. Allah knows the length, breadth, and amount of hair on our whole body. Allah has so much of knowledge, we have made a mistake about our gender. How many times this could have happened to you, right? You're busy doing your homework, or maybe you're learning your door, and you just wanted to check the time. So you picked up your phone and you saw, hey, there's a WhatsApp message. So you quickly tapped on there. You saw the WhatsApp message, then you ended up checking somebody's status updates, and from there you end up on Instagram because you clicked onto a link. And after 15 minutes, you're like, what was I supposed to check? MashaAllah, after 20 minutes, you still don't know what's the time. We men, we're so weak. Our knowledge is so weak. Allah knows our thoughts from birth to death. Would Allah have made a mistake about our gender? Who is Allah who's deciding for us? Allah is Al-Hakim. That Allah is deciding for us right from wrong, good from bad, who is the most wise. You know how wise Allah is? You ever thought of this? You have hair, maybe the smaller boys don't have, but the bigger boys, and maybe a lot of us have hair on the back of our palm. But inside your palm, you got hair? No. You ever thought if you had hair inside your palm and today after Jummah you're eating dal and rice? Or you're eating biryani? Can you imagine the mess if you had hair growing here? A nauseating example, imagine you had hair inside your palm and you had to go make istinja. Then maybe by the basin you wouldn't have had hand soap, you would have had maybe a shampoo and conditioner there. And who knows, maybe some guys would have went for like threading and waxing of their palms also, you know. No, there's laser now. You can laser it off. But Allah knew we'll do so much with our hands, the inside of our palms. Allah kept it hairless. What the ni'mat of Allah. What the blessing of Allah. Imagine sometimes our mother at home, our sister is marinating meat and there's no hair here. Imagine what a mess it would have been. If they had hair inside their palm like they had hair on their head. But Allah kept it hairless. Allah created us in the most perfect way. Allah would not have made a mistake about our gender. So men, human beings have different urges and desires. All men and human beings have different urges and desires. Not the one you're thinking of, Maaf, I'm sorry. I was talking about the urge to eat. Where your mind went to, Allah forgive you. I was talking about the urge to eat. And I was talking about the urge to relieve yourself. Every human being has these two natural urges and desires that Allah has created in us. We all eat to live. Some people love to eat, but normal people, we eat to live. How do we deal with these urges? Can you ignore it? It's impossible. Can you ignore the urge to eat? One day you never eat, 2 days, and then you're like, I'm starving, I have to chow something. The urge to relieve yourself, you ever thought of ignoring it? The teacher said, you can't go to the bathroom. I said, sir, please. Then he said, no, you can't, finish your work. After 15 minutes, you go, sir, it's really urgent. He said, no. After half an hour, if he doesn't allow you, your feet will start dancing with no music. You're like, no, you can't, you don't understand. So to ignore it, it's impossible. And imagine a free-fall attitude. People relieve themselves anyway, anytime, anyhow. It would have been a disaster. So we all agree that you must have restrictions. Agreed? You must have restrictions. What you can eat, what you can't eat. Where you can relieve yourself, where you can't relieve yourself. Everybody in the world agrees there must be restrictions. The critical question is who decides the restrictions? And this is where we differ. The LGBTQI community say, no, we will decide for ourselves. And we say, you can't decide. Let Allah decide for you. Now, I showed you who's the Allah that's deciding for us. So they're saying, why we can't decide? I say, because man's logic and nature differs. No two people think the same. Let's see how man's logic differs. Let's look at the first urge we spoke about to relieve oneself. For some people, this is okay. Some people will relieve themselves at the side of the road, right outside the bathroom. For us, it's not okay. We're not being derogatory or embarrassing anybody. I'm just saying for them it's okay, for us it's not okay. Satisfying one's hunger, again we differ. Some people are vegans, they're vegetarians. They'll go to the place that sells the best steak or the best chicken tikka, and they'll say, "Can I have a platter of salad?" And you're like, really? You came here to chow salad. And some of us say, "I only eat where there's meat." Some people eat snakes and monkeys. Really? And I put this just because of the words. I said some people like to dine on wine and swine and they think it's fine. Some people like to dine on wine and they think it's fine. And Allah save me, Allah save you. But I must tell you, boys, unfortunately, this alcohol and wine is becoming common amongst Muslims. It's a sad reality. But it's not our topic. So see how man's nature differs. See how man thinks different. Let's look at Allah's system. The system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is universal. You ever thought about this great thing? Allah's system is the only system and law in the world that can be duplicated and enforced in every country and town of the world. South African law, if there is law, South Africa got more potholes than laws. No, serious, they got laws. But South African laws can't be implemented and enforced in a neighboring country like Zimbabwe or Mozambique. They got their own set of laws. But look at Allah's system. Allah's law, before you read namaz, make wudu. If you go to the bathroom to relieve yourself, make istinja. How you and I make istinja here in South Africa, in the southern part of the world, go to north, right up to Europe or wherever, they will make istinja in the same way. You go to the richest Arab man in the world, he will use water to make istinja like the poorest man in Africa would use water to make istinja. The most so-called educated man in America or Europe will make istinja with water in the same way as a person living in the most remote town of India or Pakistan or Kashmir would make istinja using water. How you make wudu, they make wudu. In the west, south, irrespective of which country you go in the world, which town you go in the world, it's done in the exact same way. What a beautiful thing. Allah's system is practical, safe, and dignified. Let's combine the three in one example of how we deal with the mayyat when he passes away. When a person passes away, we won't wear them expensive clothes because it's going to get wasted in the ground. But at the same time, we won't burn that body. We will deal with it with so much respect. We'll wash it and we'll wear white kafan for that mayyat. It's so reasonably cheap, but at the same time, it's so respectful. You ever thought of that? In the way we deal with the mayyat, there's so much of dignity, yet it's so reasonably cheap compared to any other religion. Therefore, Allah's law is above every law. Allah's law supersedes every law. Something can be legal in a country, it won't be halal. Example? Wine, alcohol, pork. Talk louder, boys. Drugs, weed. You can say weed with tajweed. Abortion, zina. Now let's come to where your mind went some time back, the sexual urge. Every human being, boys, you with me? Every human being has a sexual urge. Male and female, irrespective of whether you're pious or not pious, every human being has this urge. How you deal with this urge? You can ignore it, it's impossible. It's called celibacy. Unrestricted is a recipe for disaster. Imagine anybody and everybody just relieve themselves of this sexual urge in them, and anyhow, in any way, at any time. It would be a total disaster in society. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created a beautiful avenue for us. Let's look at Allah's system. The system of Allah ta'ala, when you have a sexual urge and you've grown up and you matured and you're responsible, you will make nikah. A man will make nikah with a woman. A woman will make nikah with a man. What's the benefit of that? You'll have reproduction. You will have reproduction. And this, we must just stop for a minute and make shukr to Allah that from Adam alayhi salam's time, they were not gays and lesbians. If they were gays and lesbians, then we wouldn't have been in existence today. Imagine if every man and every woman was gay or lesbian in today's time, then Orient wouldn't have had new enrollments. So reproduction is the benefit of Allah's system of nikah. But then they argue with us. They say, okay, if it's reproduction, then you don't have to make nikah. Any man can sleep with any woman and you'll still have reproduction. We say, no, you'll have reproduction, but you won't have lineage. If a man is intimate with a woman out of nikah, they might have a child, but they won't have a lineage and a family. Imagine how confusing that would have been. A man feels, okay, this woman is a good woman. I think I want to go out with her. Say, no, I think she could be your sister. Okay, leave her. It's fine. Maybe she's my sister. Maybe let me try. That's also another good one. No, I think she's your mother's sister. No, that woman, you can't. Imagine how confusing life would have been, how chaotic. But through the system of nikah, you got a surname. Through the system of nikah, you know who's your father and who's your mother. Through the system of nikah, you know who's your brother and who's your sister. If somebody passed away, we know who will inherit from them. And because of that system of Allah, there's a family and support structure. What's the fees at Orient Islamic School? 60,000. You sure? Or you shooting? What's the school fees? No, there's a lot of confusion, you know. Okay, Jazakallah. I want to make my point. My point is not to show you don't know the school fees. My point is, you don't know the school fees because your Bali will sort it out. Your father will sort it out. Even if you read the newsletter and you know the school fees, I bet you, probably I can say with confidence, not one learner in this school or in this whole year ever sat and thought, you know what, end of the month I need to pay my school fees. How am I going to manage that? You never. Today when you leave the school and you go home, you're not worried. My ma cooked. She sorted the lunch out. It's a family support structure. There's a benefit of Allah's system of nikah. Sometimes you're having fun with the family and your ma gets a phone call and they say, no, drop everything. We need to go. But we're enjoying ourselves. No. We have to go. Your uncle met up in an accident or somebody passed away. We have to go now. It's a support structure. It's a family structure. There's a benefit of Allah Ta'ala's system. Till now, I explained to you why we need to do things the right way. Where a man, when he grows up, or a woman grows up, and you have that sexual urge, you fulfill it in a manner where a man gets married to a woman, or a woman gets married to a man. Let's see what's their arguments. For people who are gay, how do they argue with us? So one of the argument is mutual consent. They say if this man likes that man, and they're happy with one another, then what's wrong with it? Or this woman likes that woman, and they're happy with one another, then what's wrong with it? There's consent between the two of them. So if we're dealing with a Muslim, then our first response is when they ask what's wrong, we say this, what's wrong? It's wrong to ask what's wrong with what Allah made wrong. Your question is wrong. If it's a Muslim, our first response is, it's wrong to ask what's wrong with what Allah made wrong. So when your question is wrong, how must I answer the question? Our second response is, who said mutual consent is license and permission to do something? So I'm going to play around with his name. Muhammad Hussein, what's your friend's name? Che? Abdullah. So Muhammad Hussein and Abdullah, right? This is just an example. They're good boys, mashallah. Inshallah, they're good boys. So say mashallah or inshallah. So anyway, Muhammad Yusuf and Abdullah, Muhammad Hussein and Abdullah, they say, you know what, look, my marks are bad, your marks are worse. And you know, my bali flips faster than a coin. And your bali, when he gets cross and he screams and he shouts and he uses words that's not even in the dictionary, and then your ma gets upset and the whole house is upset. Listen, I'm tired of life. I'm really tired. Come, we do this, the two of us. You take your bali's get, I'll take my father's get. We meet up tonight, and then I give you permission, you give me permission, you pull the trigger, I pull the trigger, we shoot one another. We're tired of this now. We can't, there's mutual consent between the two. They gave permission to one another. So it'll be the talk of Durban. You heard what happened at Orient Islamic School. Two learners shot themselves. But there's mutual consent. Why are you upset? So here we already see mutual consent can't be licensed to do something. Because if this, hear me out, right, boys? Imagine if we said mutual consent is fine. Then tomorrow, a boy and girl, or this woman wants to get married. She says, I don't trust men. I don't trust men. The only men I trust, who I think will really be loyal to me and who will look after me properly, is my son. So I'm going to get married to my son, and between my son and I, there's mutual consent. Where are we going to draw the line with mutual consent? So firstly, I told you the question is wrong. Secondly, I explained to you why mutual consent can't be license and justification to do something. The third thing, we're going to tell them our third response and answer to this is it's unnatural. Now I know you guys are looking at the heart, but I'm saying look at the magnet. Magnets by nature attract. Magnets by nature attract. But even magnets that are inanimate, no, if you take two magnets and you take the north or positive and points and you bring it together, they'll repel and they push away. Even magnets know opposites attract. Even magnets know opposites attract. Then our first answer. Third answer we gave them. Fourth answer we're saying is unnatural. So we tell this gay couple in inverted commas or lesbian couple, please tell me how will you have children? Really, don't you want children? So how are you going to have children? You're going to have your own children. Listen, come on now. Obviously, we can't have our own children. So you say, okay, you're going to adopt. Yes. From where will you adopt? From another gay couple, probably? You say, no, how can, now you're being foolish. How can we adopt from a gay couple? Okay, no problem, shame. Adopt from a lesbian couple. Now remember, people who are gay, lesbian, or belong to the LGBTQI lobby, they don't accept Allah's system that a man must marry a woman. Now you don't accept Allah's system. Why you want to go and adopt from Allah's system? You can only, even they know that they can only adopt a child from Allah's system. Now let me share a hilarious example with you, right? Let's take two names. Chi, who's going to give us two names here quickly? Chi? What's your name, young man? Chi. Chi. Ahmed. What's your friend's name next to you? Chi? Abu Bakr. Ahmed and Abu Bakr. So Ahmed tells Abu Bakr, right? Hey, Abu Bakr, listen, you guys are following me, right? Abu Bakr, your maths is so bad, really. Your age is higher than your maths mark. And you know, Abu Bakr, your maths is so bad. So really you need to do something about it. You need to go for maths tuition because you don't even get the answer right by mistake. Now imagine Ahmad is teasing Abu Bakr like that, right? I just now a joke, right? Abu Bakr, your maths is good, nah? You better work on it, huh? So anyway, Abu Bakr now, Ahmad tells Abu Bakr, can I borrow your book? I want to copy your homework. Now you told him how bad his maths is. Now you want to go borrow his book and in exams you want to try and copy from him. Now they said how bad Allah's system is. They don't want to accept Allah's system and then they want to go borrow from Allah's system. Allah's system is good for everyone. Allah's system of a man marry a woman, the richest man in the world can accept Allah's system, can marry a woman. The most educated man in the world can follow Allah's system. The poorest man in the world can follow Allah's system. The most uneducated man who never saw the walls of a school can follow Allah's system. A man marries a woman. So Allah's system works everywhere in the world with no restrictions. Their system, imagine if every man and every woman was gay or lesbian. The next one, and I apologize to the principal and to the ulama that are here and our seniors, but I put it for a reason. And that's why I'm speaking to the high school learners. Am I correct, sir? So I'm treating you in a very matured way. So there's a reason why I put it here. And the reason that I put it here is because our youth are so exposed to the filth of porn on their phones. There are a lot of things that Allah made haram, they think, what's wrong with it? So we do premarital counseling. Before people get married, we have a session with them to guide them along on how to, inshallah, navigate their marriage to success and happiness. And one of the questions that comes about is regarding this. So, anal, to relieve yourself and to satisfy your desire from the back passage is haram even in your halal marriage. Even if a man is married in a halal way to his wife, he cannot relieve himself and be intimate with his wife from the back passage. So if it's not permissible in a halal marriage, it can't be permissible anywhere else in life. Allah, now listen to me. I want to share examples with you so you can relate to the message I'm giving you. You see, the back passage was not meant and created for penetration. It was made as an exit point for feces and dirt and napaki to leave our body. It was not meant for penetration. Now let me give this example to you. You know, maybe you were invited to a dawat or a nikah or as a class, you led a chow and you're all sitting together and you saw that like halwa, that sweet suji came and you're checking it and it looks lekker and you're checking all your cousins or your brothers and you say, ish, you know, if I dish out little, I'll never get a second round. This guy's chow. So you dished out lot because it looked very nice. And now when you tasted it, you said, ish, I don't know if the cook put salt or sugar in this thing, or he wasn't in a good mood. Something went wrong here. Now you tell your friend next to your cousin, come and share with you. You're not generous. You need to get rid of that from your plate. Why you made a mistake? Because your eye was not meant for tasting. What looks nice with the eye won't always taste nice on the tongue. So what Allah made the eye for, the tongue can't do. What Allah made the back passage for is not for this purpose. Therefore, it's spiritually destructive and it causes many diseases. They themselves now with monkeypox realize it was more common amongst homosexuals. All this is to explain to you that it's against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So from here we learn that Allah's command is above one's logic. So if a person who is gay or lesbian or any other person in life tells you Allah's command is against my logic, we stop him and we say Allah's command is not against your logic. Allah's command is above your logic. You see this word here? We put it in bold, above one's logic. So you say, but now you're playing with words. What's the difference? You say, there's a big difference. So what you mean? I said, I'll share an example with you. So you got your phone, right? Your small brother or sister say, can I use your phone, please? You say, no, not my phone. Because you and I know what we hide on our phones. So say, but please, Silly, I love you. You know, you're the best brother in the world. You're the best sister. Say, please. And then they melt your heart. You say, okay. Only 10 minutes. Huh? They got the way of playing with you. So you say 10 minutes. Now something pops up on our screen very often, memory almost full. So they take your phone and they start deleting your whole gallery. And then they uninstall your Instagram. And then they deleted your Facebook account. And they're feeling so nice that they made 3 or 4 gigs of space on your phone. See, my brother and sister are going to be so happy with me. See how much space I made on their phone. And in all this excitement, they're drinking Nesquik or milkshake and they messed on the phone. Now, common sense, whatever is dirty, wash it. I mean, if milkshake messes on your kurta, mashallah, you guys look so neat with your white kurta in the school. So imagine milkshake break time messes on your kurta. What you do? You wash it. So now you know your brother, small brother, got your phone, and you hear the tap opening, and you're like, "Where are you?" No, no, nothing, nothing. I'm just washing your phone. It got dirty. And you say, you see, you. That's why I don't give you my phone. Now, is your logic against that small child's logic or above their logic? It's above their logic. So if somebody tells us the command of Allah is against my logic, I say, don't worry. Inshallah, intellectually, when you mature, you will appreciate Allah's command. No command of Allah can be against man's logic. Remember, in life, every action is a reaction. If you do good, good comes your way. If you do bad, bad comes your way. Let's talk about the nation of Lut alayhi salam very quickly. The nation of Lut alayhi salam, they were the first people to be involved in homosexuality. And the story is long, inshallah, Maulana will share it with you. He told them, أَتَأْتُونَ الْفَاحِشَةَ مَا سَبَقَكُمْ بِهَا مِنْ أَحَدٍ مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. Are you doing something nobody in the world done? Then Allah sent angels in the form of extremely handsome men. And they came, and then his wife told the whole community, come check what's happening here. You never saw something like this before. So what happened was then they all came to check. And when they came to check, now they wanted to interfere with these men who were actually angels. They were just in the form of men. Jibreel alayhi salam told Lut alayhi salam, don't worry, we'll sort them out. You just فَأَسْرِ بِأَهْلِكَ بِقِطْعٍ مِّنَ اللَّيْلِ وَلَا يَلْتَفِتْ مِنْكُمْ أَحَدٌ إِلَّا امْرَأَتَكَ. All of you, just your whole family with you, leave in the morning and go out of this town, but don't look back. Lut alayhi salam's wife was not a homosexual, but she was connected, attached, and she supported them. So when Allah destroyed them, Allah destroyed her with them. So remember, even if you're not a homosexual or you're not a lesbian, you can't be supportive of them. You can't be an ally to them. We need to understand what is haram and we'll say haram. Nobody has a right to do what Allah made wrong. Remember this golden rule. So anyway, Allah Ta'ala destroyed her with them. So remember, these people were totally destroyed because of their action. And another point, I don't have time, I'm watching the clock also. Their action was done voluntarily, like today's time homosexuals are doing it voluntarily. And we have proof for it, alhamdulillah. But time is not on my side. Let's go to their second argument. Second argument is, they say, I feel that way. Now, I became gay because I feel that way. Now, what must I do? I felt that way, so I became gay. So, I ask you a question. Before I ask you a question, let's call one young man up here quickly. Come here, my brother. So this boy I am watching, I'm doing the old program and I see him laughing. He wasn't laughing, I'm just saying. And he's just like irritating me all the time. So I take him and I bang his head here once, twice, thrice. And the principal is like, stop, Maulana, what you doing? You can't do that. His father will come complaining to the school that we can't call guests anymore. I say, I'm sorry, sir, I felt that way. Imagine tomorrow a serial killer killed, he murdered 15, 20 people. You okay, my boy? You sure? See, he murdered 15, 20 people. And the judge said, 10 life sentence. And he said, no, you can't imprison me. What you mean you murdered? He said, I'm sorry, I felt that way. So then every crime will become acceptable in society because of the feeling. But remember, if you get the feeling to sin, you're not abnormal. Every human being has a different craving to sin. It's human to have a craving to sin. Listen, follow me very carefully. Don't take the wrong message. Every human being has a craving. So if you have a feeling or craving to sin, you listening? If you have a feeling or craving to sin, it's a test that needs to be suppressed. If you have a feeling or craving to sin, it's a test that needs to be suppressed so that you may be blessed with the best. Remember that golden rule in life. So you're not abnormal. You have the ability and capability to suppress it. If you think, hey, I got this craving, I don't know what to do, I'm not managing, you are undermining your potential. Then shaitan will make you feel that no, it's not fair. Why you got that feeling and your friends don't have that feeling? Remember, the more challenging, the more rewarding. Our Hafiz Muhammad Hussein does exceptionally well, inshallah, in exams, and he comes out with distinctions. And his father says, I'm going to buy you a brand new iPhone. You came with such great awards. And then his small grade 1 brother runs and says, no, but I also got an award. The father would say, he matriculated. He wrote matric. You wrote grade 1. So the greater the test, the more challenging the test, the more rewarding. Remember, desire to sin is not a sin. Desire to sin is not a sin. If you have a craving to sin, you're not a sinner till you don't carry out that sin. So if you're getting that feeling now and then, it doesn't make you a sinner. It doesn't make you gay. What you need to do, you need to get help. Speak to Alhamdulillah, you got ulama here, you got teachers here, you got good people who can help you. So get the necessary help. Boys, sometimes this feeling is not just there, it's there because you are feeding that feeling. You created that feeling in you. And how did you create that feeling in you? You know what those 3 X's mean? It's not something you got wrong. It's something you're watching that's wrong. So, you with me, boys? Very important. If Allah gives us tawfiq on another occasion, there's a whole presentation we've prepared on the harms of porn. Because I believe, in my humble experience working with youth, that you can get addicted to watching porn like you can get addicted to drugs. You can get addicted to porn. I was dealing with one Hafiz. Allah give him tawfiq to change. Allah help him change. Allah help me to help him. He's a Hafizul Quran. Boys, you hearing me? He's a Hafizul Quran. He's been watching porn for the last 15 years. That has eventually led him to feeling that he's inclined to becoming gay. So you don't know where this thing will take you. You don't know. Sometimes you're learning your Quran or you're studying and you're working so hard, your head is in your books. You're doing work and you're doing work. Or you're writing and you thought you wrote a whole essay, and when you checked, you realize you only scribbled 2 lines. And your pen is falling and your mommy says, shame. And those teachers at Orient, they just have no mercy. They're not understanding. Look how much of homework they're giving you. Look how my son, poor child, looks. Look how my daughter is. You couldn't keep your eyes awake and open for 2 minutes. Then you went to the room and you connected to the unkept Wi-Fi, and then you never blink for 2 hours. So people who abuse their phone at night, I say, everybody who goes to bed early, don't sleep early. Everybody who goes to bed early, don't sleep early. But let's not generalize. Some people do sleep early. They sleep early in the morning. So remember this golden rule, boys and girls. Everything on the screen is not always clean. It can actually destroy your deen. When you keep watching haram on your phone, and you think it's hot, remember the heat of Jahannam is hotter. Remember, boys and girls, when you're watching porn, very quickly, to get out of this habit, you must think that there's a fire coming out and hitting your eyes, because that's where it's going to take you. And your solution to this is to read more Quran. Read Quran with the intention, Allah, I got this addiction, I got this craving, Allah, take it out of my heart. What happens if somebody approaches you trying to make a move on you? Before, we never had this as part of our presentation, because we were only doing this program with Muslim schools. But then when we started expanding our program to other people, some people said, but Maulana, we're faced with situations where somebody is making a move on us. How do we respond? So I say, if somebody tries to make a move on you in a haram way, you must fire up. You must fire up. Follow me, boys and girls. The F means you must be firm. You must remember, we as Muslims, we are confident and we are firm. Never feel inferior that you are straight. There's nothing to be shy about that you're straight. From grade 1, your teacher taught you draw straight line. When you have assembly, principal will say, grade 8, stand in a straight row. When Imam Sahib will stand in the front, he'll say, brothers, straighten yourselves. When we read Quran, we say, Ihdinas sirat al-mustaqim, Allah guide us to the straight path. Today, don't tell me there's a problem with me being straight. So be firm, be confident. There's no need for you to buckle under pressure. When you respond, the I means you must respond immediately. Don't waste time. Don't delay. Every day you delay, you're giving them hope you're going to bite on their bait. When you respond, you must reject. And when you reject, you must be explicit, clear. You see, you know what I'm trying to say? Actually, what I was trying to tell you, no, it's not what I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you no. And no got no second meaning. How we used to have banners say no to drugs, I'm saying no to you. And don't get caught unaware. Unaware, you don't even realize somebody's making a move on you. Unaware means you don't even realize you're in the wrong company that's taking you astray. And the P is to protect yourself through dua. Maulana will teach you all the dua. Rabbi najjini wa ahli mimma ya'malun. 5 words. Nabi Lut alayhi salam made this dua when his people were involved in haram. Oh my Rabb, protect me, and save my family from what they are doing. Learn this dua and read it every day of your life. What happens if you know somebody is involved? How would you react to that person? So we use an accident scene. Islam teaches us, it's not Muhammad Hussein's GTI, it's another color. So Islam teaches us, boys, last 5 minutes inshallah. Hate the sin, not the person. If somebody is involved in a haram, we hate the sin that they are committing, but we don't hate that person. We will be sympathetic to that person, we won't be apologetic. Now please understand these 2 words. I'm saying sympathetic and apologetic. We are not apologetic about our stance. But we are sympathetic don't mean, okay, shame, you choose to be gay, it's your right, I respect it. No. Nobody has the right to do what Allah made wrong. Nobody has the right to do what Allah made wrong. If it's wrong, it's wrong. You don't have the right to do it. It's a system of Allah. Sympathetic means we want to help you come back on the straight path. We like people who are straight. We want to help you become straight. We want to help that person change. Helping them and being sympathetic doesn't mean you're falling in a hole. I'll help you and I'll push you fall. Helping a person who's gay don't mean, okay, it's okay, you can be gay, I'll respect you and I'll help you stay gay. No, that's not helping them. How are you going to be sympathetic? By making dua for them and trying to get them the necessary help. Speak to the ulama, speak to your teachers, speak to somebody who is a psychologist, counselor who can help them. And remember, lastly, no violence. Now you're like, why no violence? He needs a good writing. No, let me explain. Why no violence? Because this lobby, they are opportunists. If you're violent in your response, you're not going to change that person, number 1. Number 2, the second reason, they're going to shift the whole media's focus away from their wrong, and they're going to make everybody look at what you done and how you reacted. So we will fight this battle, and we will educate these people intellectually. It's an intellectual battle we're fighting to make people understand right from wrong. Make that person who's inclined in that direction understand the beauty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's system. Make them understand the beauty of the system of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then inshallah Allah will give them hidayat and make a lot of dua for them. It brings us alhamdulillah to the end of our program. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Jazakallah for your cooperation, your attention, and being part of this program.
Jazakallah Maulana. Actually, the applause isn't necessary. MashaAllah, I think. Can I hear it from you? All right. Maulana, Jazakallah for a very, I think, wise manner in presenting a very lively approach. Ji.
That those their friends that are not here. Tonight we have a program in Avondale, so they can tell the boys to come in tomorrow. We have the girls program in Sherwood.
Right. Maulana reminds me that there's a program this evening at Avondale Musalla, and tomorrow there's a program. Is this after Maghrib? All right. And today after Maghrib at Avondale Musalla, for those who would like to attend and those who are not here, obviously. And tomorrow at 10 o'clock at Sherwood at the masjid. Okay. At the girls' school in Sherwood, Islahul Muslimat. That's for the girls. You could please notify them. Boys and girls, of course, the girls are in the dining hall. This is a topic that about 12 of our educators, the Maulanas, Maulana Muhammadi, the Islamiyat department, myself, and some senior members of staff, we attended a 6-week course on this particular topic. And the reason we did that is that we have realized that this LGBTQ has become so pervasive internationally, and it has reached the shores of South Africa. It has been with us, perhaps not on the scale that some of us think, but certainly it has been with us for some time. But because there's so much of pressure on countries across the world, I only saw yesterday that Uganda has taken a very firm stance against LGBTQ. And the American government has given Uganda an ultimatum that they must abandon their approach to LGBTQ or face the consequences. Can you believe this? America is trying to dictate to Uganda, which is totally against LGBTQ, in promoting it, and it has given Uganda this ultimatum that if you do not condone LGBTQ in your country, then we will do whatever is necessary. And you know what America does? It imposes sanctions and it affects the economy of countries throughout the world. So, Maulana, Jazakallah for alerting our learners and ourselves to this pernicious evil that is creeping into society. We will be having programs, inshallah, in the LO and Islamiyat periods to follow up on what you have said. We hope to have a series of programs. Jazakallah, and may Allah reward you and your friends, inshallah. All right. Boys, you will leave in an orderly fashion. The first row, please stand. And we will first, before you leave, please sit, boys. We'll ask our guests, Maulana Hansa, which will please take our guests through. The last row at the back, first row in the front stand. We'll ask the teachers to please assist in making sure our learners leave in an orderly way. Right, first row, you may lead off. Second